Please, I want to welcome you specially to today's episode on this series. Have you ever struggled on what to post next on your church's social media platforms? Or maybe you post randomly, or some weeks you can be very active and others too you are not. Well, if this is the challenge you are facing, then stick and stay with me, because today we are going to learn how to stay consistent with solid content plan and scheduling tools that will guide you through this journey. Now let's dive deep into today's discussion. Now, one will ask the question, why is it important for me to plan my social media content? Pause and think about this question. Have you asked yourself this question before? All right, so now this is the reason why it is very important for you to plan your social media content. Because one thing you should understand is that consistency is key and it builds trust for your audience. So let's say when I started this series that I'm doing on building church media, I told you that every Thursday I'll release a video. There are some people who come to this platform every Thursday to get a video like this to watch. When they come this week and they don't get videos, they come the next week and they don't get videos, they are not going to trust me again when I tell them that I'm going to release content every week. So when they come on my platform and I don't give them the consistent videos that I talked about, they are not going to trust me, and hence they are not going to follow my platforms again. That is it with social media scheduling and consistency. So it is important that you plan your content. Let your audience know what to expect and when to expect it. It is like watching a traditional TV station. You know that on this TV station, from this time to this time, this program is being aired. Until there are circumstances beyond the control of the TV station, it is expected that when you go on that platform on this day, you are expected to get this program to watch. That is how social media is. So if you tell your audience that every Monday I'm going to bring you a motivational quote, they are expecting that every Monday when they come to your platform, they will get a new content. So it is important that you stay consistent so that your audience can trust you to deliver. One thing you should also understand is that a well-planned approach saves time, and then it reduces last-minute pressure. If you are into church media thing, you understand this thing that I'm talking about. That if you don't plan your approach well, you'll be bombarded with so many things at each given time. But then when your content is planned, when your content is scheduled, you know that at this point, I am going on with this, with that, so that you don't get last minute pressure. You don't know what the situation may be at every given time. So let's say you have planned that every Monday you are going to release a motivational quote, and you have not planned ahead. You have not scheduled your post ahead. By the time you realize Monday will come and you don't even know what to post, now you'll be calling your designer to design a flyer for you and you'll not be getting him. You'll be calling your social media managers to post content for you and you'll not be getting them. But if you had planned well, if you have structured your approach well, you know that, okay, on Sundays, let me schedule the post for Monday so that by Monday, even if I don't get my social media manager to post for me, at that time a scheduled post is there to go live. So it is very, very important you plan your social media management. Now, the next thing that I also want to talk about is that it helps maintain a balance of different content types. So if you are planning, you know that, okay, Monday I am going with this content type, Tuesday I'm going with this content. That is if you have decided to post daily. You know that this day I'm going with this content type, this day I'm going with this content type. But then if you don't have a well-planned, by the time you realize your content may be one way. Every day you are giving us quotes. Every day you are giving us quotes. Maybe your audience may not be interested in the quotes that you are giving. But then if you sit down and plan your content well, you'll be able to give us variety of content types. You can give us videos, you can give us images, you can give us text, you can give us content that will educate, content that will inspire, content that will sometimes even announcements and all these things. So let's know that it is very, very important as church media people to plan our social media management. One example that I want to give is that let's take social media as church service. It is not on the Sunday morning that the pastor will come and decide on what topic to preach on, or who is going to lead what, who is going to lead what. All these things are planned ahead of time. That is why when you go to service on Sunday morning, you realize that everything flows seamlessly because planning and preparation has gone into it. Church guys, let's be very intentional about how we run our social media pages. The next thing that I want to talk about is creating content calendar. Now, someone will ask, what is content calendar? Content calendar simply means knowing what to post and when to post it. So the content calendar will guide you. On this day, we are posting this content at this time. That is how content calendar works. It helps you organize posts in advance. And let's go into how to build one for yourself or for your church. I'll walk you through about 3 steps on building content calendar. The first one is choose format. So which format do you want your content calendar to be? There are a lot of ways you can use to build content calendar. Others use Google Sheet, others use Trello, others use Notion, and some even use normal Excel. Or you can just get your table, get your tally table in MS Word and plan your content. After you have chosen the format on which your content calendar is going to go, the next thing is what you plan your content around your church activity. Mind you, I said this video is aimed at building a strong media team for churches. That is why I'm making reference to churches. But then if you are a business organization and you want to use this approach for your business, you can go in this tangent. Where I'm saying plan content around your church activities, you can also plan the content around your business dealings, what your business is about, what you do, even if it is about you as a person. So let's say me, Bra Kwaku, as a person, I want to develop content calendar for my personal brand, for my social media pages. I'll look at my interests, what I am into, what I do, and that will guide me on how to plan my content calendar. But in this case, plan your content around your church's activity. What are the activities your church does on a weekly, or let's say on a daily? So we know that on Sundays, there are Sunday services, there are midweek services, there are special events, there are others. So when you know all these activities or programs that your church run, then it will serve as a guide to planning the content that you want to release each day. Now, the next step, or the step 3 about developing or building content calendar, is assign content type to each day. So in this case, you want to post content every day. Every day you want to post content, at least one content a day. So from Monday to Sunday, you want your platforms to be very engaging. So what do you have to do? You list all the days and then assign type of content to each day. So I'm giving you an example. Monday, you can decide to post verse for the week. Why am I saying verse for the week? Because it is the verse that is going to motivate the church populace throughout the week. That is what they are going to live their lives by. So if they get it from the beginning of the week, they will be able to work with it throughout the week. So you can decide that on Mondays, we are going to post verse for the week. On Tuesday, you can decide to post testimonials. So on Sunday, when people came to church, what were the experience? What were the testimonies they got from the church service? You can decide to have that content type to post on Tuesdays as the type that you are posting. So on Monday, you have Bible verse for the week. On Tuesday, you have testimonies. Now, on Wednesday, what are you going to post? If your church run midweek services, you can decide that on Wednesday, you are going to post a reminder to the general public that this evening, this morning, this afternoon, we are going for midweek services. So on Wednesday, you can decide to post midweek service reminder or flyers. On Thursday, you can decide to post educational posts. When I talk about educational posts, what do I mean? On Thursday, you can decide that every Thursday, we will pick one topic and discuss extensively. So something like an online Bible study. So you pick a Bible verse and then you bring an explanation to it as your content for Thursday. Depending on the activity that your church runs, you can also decide to choose a content type for Thursday. On Friday, you can decide to do engagement polls. You can decide to tease your audience. You can decide to ask trailing questions. So you ask questions like, why is it that Moses was not able to go to the promised land? Then you have engagement with your audience. Or you can ask questions like, what are your expectations come Sunday? Just something to engage your audience. Make sure that your audience are very active on your social media platform. One thing we have to understand is that social media is a two-way community. It is not a one-way community where you just come to dump information, but then it's a give and take. So you have to make your audience feel like they are part of your community on social media. So you engage them with posts, let them comment, respond to their comments, and like their comments. So you can decide to do engagement posts on Fridays. Now on Saturdays, what do you want to do on Saturdays? You can decide to schedule reminders for Sunday service. So if you have promo videos, if you have flyers, you can decide to release them on Saturday so that your audience will be reminded of the fact that there is church service on Sunday. That is it for Saturday. And on Sunday is the main church service. What do you want to do on Sunday? You can decide to post sermon excerpt from the Sunday service. So on Sunday, after church service, you decide to transcribe the sermon that came, right? You can decide to do video excerpt. You can decide to record the sermons and then share with your audience on your social media platform. So they know that every Sunday, even if I miss the main service, when I come to the social media pages, I'll get access to the sermon excerpts that were preached that day. One thing that I will advise you is that always make sure that your content is a mixture of text, image, and videos. It doesn't matter the platform that you are posting. Sometimes some will say that, for Twitter or for X, it is only about text, but then you can add multimedia to it. On Facebook, you can add text and multimedia. Whatever platform you are using, make sure your content is a mixture of text, image, and videos. This will help keep your content engaging and your page very, very active. Now, after you have created your content plan, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is going to help you schedule your post so that you don't find yourself wanting, or so that you will avoid last-minute pressure or last-minute stress. So there are a lot of tools that you can use to schedule your post. When I say schedule your post, what I mean is that posting your content in advance. So let's say you want to post verse for the week for Monday. What you do is that you can post it today, but then tell the system that don't let my audience see it. Let them see it on Monday at 4 p.m. or on Monday at 6 a.m. So there are a lot of tools that can help you in scheduling your posts. Rather than posting manually every day, use scheduling tools, and there are a lot of them. I'll mention a few of them, and then I'll let you know the one that I am using currently, and I'll recommend them to you because I've tried and tested them. But hey, this is a disclaimer. None of these tools are sponsoring this video. I am doing it out of my benevolence, and I want to help you get these tools to learn. So there are tools like Meta Business Suite. And Meta Business Suite is for Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to schedule posts for Facebook and Instagram, you can go for Uncle Mark's Meta Business Suite. You can also go for Hootsuite. This one will help you schedule your posts for almost all social media platforms. Talk of TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, what have you. Hootsuite is also there you can use. You can use Buffer. Yes, you can use Buffer. Buffer also help you schedule posts for almost all the social media pages that you can use. If your church service is on Sunday, you can schedule all the week's content on Monday. So it runs automatically. This way you stay consistent without stress. So after service on Sunday, you make sure that you have prepared all the content that you are going to post for the week ahead. Then you schedule them on Monday so that from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this post will go automatically. Personally, the scheduling tool that I use is Buffer. And you can schedule your post. I will advise that you schedule it on Sunday evening. So what you do is that Sunday when you go to church, what I tell myself is that my Sundays are for God. So I spend most of my time in church on Sunday. So let's say if your media team is an unpaid team where they do volunteer work, on Sunday when they come to church, after church service, sit down and create content for the week and then schedule the post on that Sunday so that from Monday you live a stress-free life and watch the content run automatically. There is this thing that people don't really know. But you see, social media is not just a random place. It is a place that have times and seasons, I would say. So it is not every time that you post content that it goes. And when I say it goes viral. So these are the peak engagement times. So when you take Facebook and Instagram, for example, in the mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., when you post your content, it is believed that this is the peak engagement time where you have a lot of people engaging with your content when you post on Facebook and Instagram from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can also schedule your post from 12 noon to 3 p.m. That time too is believed to be the peak engagement moment for Facebook and Instagram, and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So these three timings are the peak timings for posting content on social media, especially on Instagram and Facebook. So let this guide you as you are planning or as you are building your content calendar. Now, when you come to TikTok too also have three peak times. You have from 7 to 9 a.m., 12 to 3 p.m., and then 7 to 10 p.m. These are the peak times where a lot of people spend time on TikTok. So if you are scheduling your post within these times, then you are rest assured that you are going to get the engagement that you are looking for. Now, when it comes to X or Twitter, it is believed that early mornings, let's say from 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m., you have your engagement time. And then lunch hours, let's say from 12 to like 2 p.m. thereabouts to you have your peak hours. And then for YouTube is believed that when you post your content in the evenings, it gets tractions. So in the evenings, let's say from 5 p.m. upwards. So let these times guide you. Also, one thing you have to do is that you must check your analytics. When I say check your analytics, you go to the back end of your pages, you will see when your audience are most active and adjust accordingly. Research has shown that, let's say, on TikTok, when you post from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., your content gets much engagement. But then when you check your TikTok studio, you went to your analytic and check, you realize that from 11 a.m. to like 12 p.m., that is where most of your audience are online and active. Then you adjust accordingly in scheduling your post and not going by the generally accepted 7 to 9, but then you can go for your 11 to 12 because that is when your audience or your followers are very, very active online. Today, we have learned how planning and scheduling your content help to keep your church's social media pages very consistent and very, very active. By using a content calendar and scheduling posts and then posting at the right time, you can reach more audience and have a lot of engagement to make greater impact. Do you already use a content calendar? If not, start now. You can also share your content calendar with me in the comment section so that others too can probably pick inspiration from yours to follow. So if you are new here, kindly click on the subscribe button, turn on the post notification so that whenever I release a new video, you get the first-hand notification. Remember, we are on a mission of building a stronger media team to take over everywhere for Jesus. My name is Bra Kwaku Simon. I'll see you again in the next episode. I say adios.